Patty Cake Games. Thank you for coming to my channel and looking at my video. Listen, I'm really sorry to interrupt it, but there's something really important that I want to talk to you about. So first of all, what I want you to do real quick is just look right below the video that you're looking at. You're going to see three things. The first is a little thumbs up icon. That's the like icon. Okay, go ahead and click that right now. Go ahead, do it right now. Cool, thanks. All right, now right next to that is a little red button. It's a square button that has the word subscribe on it, all right? Now, if you've already clicked that, that's great. Don't worry. But if you haven't, go ahead and click that right now. And just to the left of that, or to the right, sorry, to the right of that, there's going to be a little bell icon. So go ahead and click that too. That's the notification icon. So that way you'll get notified whenever I upload new videos. So the reason I want you guys to do this is because YouTube is really unforgiving. Their algorithm really makes it difficult for new content creators to actually be seen. So by doing that, you're helping me to be more likely to be suggested to people who view something similar or do a search for something that I've posted a video about. In turn, that will get me more views, and it'll make my channel more popular. And you want me to be popular, right? I mean, come on, who doesn't want to be popular? All right, sorry for interrupting. Let's go back to the video now. Actually, you know what? There's one more thing. One more thing. Sorry, I promise. One more thing. If you look in the description of the video, you'll see some links there. You'll see a link to my Twitter page. You'll also see a link to my Twitter account. And you will also see a link to some board games that I have created. They're really fun. You should check them out. So go ahead and check that out. And also, some of the videos will probably have a link to some merch. You can click on the merch links underneath the video, and you can be a proud member of the Patty Wagon. All right, back to the video.
Now that's interesting.
Yeah, because this is the puzzle we have to solve. We need a curve, a straight, and a T to be able to unflood the passageway to the vault. And to do that, we have to sneak around in those passageways and carry blobs of ink to make the different pieces. Fun. Right, here we go. That one there that leads straight across.
Not these guys again. I better stay out of sight.
Alright. See? It's not that bad once you kind of get their pattern.
I know how much this part means to you, Susie. Alice means a lot to me, too. Gosh, all of my characters do. In fact, I'll let you in on a little secret. I, too, really believe my characters are more than just drawings. They're alive. They're part of us. And I want people to know them as well as I do. I want people to be able to shake their hand, spend an afternoon with them, love them. Susie, I'll be straight with you. I'm putting together a small project, a little ceremony. If it works, a lot of dreams will come true. And I want you to be a part of it. I want you to bring Alice to life once again. What do you say?
To quote Jurassic Park, he spent all that time trying to figure out if he could, and never stopped to think if he should.
You'll have to get used to Dr. Malcolm.
Thankfully, they're not terribly hard to get away from. Go away. Okay. And the passageway is clear. Oh, is this where they kept him? I bet this is where they kept him. So remember they said they had to lock him away.
Looks like whatever was here was taken long ago.
Oh, they found me.
How did you get down here?
It pays to carry a rope. You should try it.
Look, I know where we have to go, but it's not going to be pleasant. The Ink Demon has something that we need. I'm going after him.
You want to go to his lair? Are you crazy? That's death.
That's where the trail seems to lead.
Well, it's probably close by. Probably through that door. But it won't be easy to open. I'll need 3 gears, a crowbar, some kind of counterbalance. Huh.
Or Tom.
Well, that works too. I guess.
You're handy to have around.
Don't make any noise.
Oh, there he is. Man, he is creepy as shit.
Wow. I've never seen this before. I don't see any way around. Nothing to build a raft with.
We'll have to wade across.
We can't. We're not like you, Henry. If we go in there, well, a drop of water in the ocean is rarely seen again.
And I guess it's all up to me. And I don't even know what I'm doing here. I don't even know why this is all happening to me.
You're here for a reason, Henry. There's always a reason. Even when you can't understand it. It's time. Set us free.
Oh, the throne of the Ink Demon. We've made it. We're here.
It's simply awe-inspiring what one can accomplish with their own hands. A lump of clay can turn to meaning if you strangle it with enough enthusiasm. Look what we've built. We created life itself, Henry. Not just on a silver screen, but in the hearts of those we entertain with our fancy moving pictures. But when the tickets stopped selling, when the next big thing came along, only the monsters remained. Shadows of the past. But you can save them, Henry. You can peel it all away. You see, there's only one thing Bendy has never known. He was there for his beginning, but he's never seen the end.
The end.
Oh, hello. About this. Let's hope this isn't as hard as Boris. Ah! Okay then. Shit! apparently I was wrong about that. Ah! That was just really bad luck. He happened to pop out of the wall I was right next to. Yep. That was it. Oh, I forgot to look at the thing again. Oh well. Probably have to walk out on that to trigger the next part, but I really don't want to. It's scary. And there doesn't appear to be anything else in here, so let's see what happens. Okay, nothing. Okay, so it was all worked up for nothing. Okay. Oh, there's a valve. Let's turn that. Let's see what happens. Oh, there he is. We have to break the columns. Over here next, big boy. Ah, man, you gotta be much faster than your feet allow you to be. Ah. Oh, here's your end, Bendy. Look, this is how you end. The end. Whew. Wow, it's so drastically different when you're so used to the game being sepia toned. Oh, I'm in control. Who's whistling? I can hear someone whistling. He's whistling Bendy's song too. What was I eating? I was eating an orange and it looks like a fried egg and some sausage and a piece of cheese, maybe? I don't know. Oh, wow. So, oh, this is everything. This is everything that happened. It's all storyboarded.
Henry, so soon. I didn't expect you for another hour yet. Now you're just trying to impress me. But I know. You have questions.
Yeah,
You
a lot of
always
them.
do. The only important question is this. Who are we, Henry? I thought I knew who I was. But the success starved me. Nothing left but lines on a page. In the end, we followed two different roads of our own making. You, a lovely family. Me, a crooked empire. And my road burned. I let our creations become my life. The truth is, you were always always so good at pushing, old friend. Pushing me to do the right thing. You should have pushed a little harder. Henry, come visit the old workshop. There's something I need to show you.
All right, Joey. I'm here. Let's see if we can find what you wanted me to see.
That's how it ended. That's how it began. So. That was an excellent game.
All right, so we've made it to the end of Bendy and the Ink Machine. So what did I think of Bendy and the Ink Machine? So first of all, let's talk about a couple of the different aspects of it. I mean, after all, it is a video game. So first, let's talk about graphics. Bendy and the Ink Machine was a really well-made title when it comes to graphics. The sepia-toned, really high-contrast graphics, it worked surprisingly well to convey these sort of old-style cartoons. And that blocky, chunky-looking shape that the items had in the game just kind of furthered the idea that you were inside an old-school cartoon world. Surprisingly, this translated into a 3D environment really well. Usually, I only think of those sorts of environments as being 2D, but it worked really well in 3D. And the characters you interact with, in particular Boris, he felt just really solid and real as a fully rendered realistic human would from other games. So graphics, very high marks. Gameplay-wise, the game feels really nice. For a genre of the game, for the genre that this game is, it works really well. There's a couple of moments where there were some issues interacting with objects and things in the environment. Usually it was something like try to click on something, in particular, especially during the Boris fight, trying to pick those pieces of ink up off the ground that just seemed like I would just stand there and just spam the interact button and he just would not interact with it no matter what I did. That was really frustrating. So there were some interaction problems. There were some bits where the game was a little schizophrenic, also kind of not knowing what exactly it wanted to be. Like, is it a first-person combat game? Is it a puzzle-solving game? Is it a stealthy horror title? It's like it kind of tried to be all of those at some point, but it never really excelled at any of them. So I think it would have been better if it would have focused primarily on one or maybe two of those things, and it would have been a little bit more focused. But that's not to say it's a bad game. It's a very good game. I would highly recommend playing through it. As far as the style and the feel of the game, I'm a sucker for games that have a really specific style, and this game really did have that in spades. It's like no other that I've played. The artistic direction was really top-notch. While altering older cartoons into sort of like twisted, menacing versions of themselves is not really anything new. That's been done before. But this sort of takes that concept in a direction that I haven't seen before. It also feels right for the type of game that it is, which is really surprising. It's very slow and plodding, and that sort of nature of your movement and the sounds around you, like the ink dripping down the walls, the occasional clicks and bangs in the distance, they all lend really well to the game that was surprisingly scary. Now, as far as comparison with other games in the genre, this game started out kind of fully on in the horror category. The first few jump scares really got to me. That sort of strange, dark ambience that the world had, it really kind of got under your skin. There were some horror tropes that were done really well. Dark corridors where you just had a light, where all you could see was the pool of light where you were pointing. The creepy sounds all around you, those sort of moments of dread when you round corners and you see something in the distance, you're like, you know. And plus the whole idea of sort of just the dark mystery that you're trying to solve. That all worked really well. However, those sort of elements that were really great for a horror genre game, they kind of fell by the wayside in around Chapter 4. The horror aspect just kind of petered out, and it was replaced with sort of exploration and combat. Now, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think I would have liked the horror aspect to be a little bit more prominent throughout the game. It's like there were no jump scares at all after Chapter 3. It's like, come on, there's 2 more chapters. You can give me some jump scares. It's fine, you know. Anyway, so as far as my final thoughts, this was a really great game. And Even though the ending of the story is not fully explained, I kind of have some ideas on what this game was really about. So, bear with me a second. So, at first, specifically after seeing the storyboard at the house at the end, I thought this was a game that was entirely metaphorical and actually kind of sad. Joey Drew sacrificed a life outside of work to create an empire that ultimately he just couldn't let go of. And when life moved on, Joey couldn't.
When the tickets stopped selling, when the next big thing came along, only the monsters remained. Shadows of the past.
He fell behind and allowed this aging studio to hold him hostage, per se. And he lost everyone that meant anything to him, because everyone, all the staff that he had become close to, they all left the company and went to lead lives after that, and he never did. So the studio just kind of fell apart. And he tried to sort of reinvent Bendy, who was always a demon, even though he was a cute one, in a new form with this storyboard. And basically he was trying to create him, to kind of reinvent him as like a horror story that was also semi-autobiographical. See, the way I was looking at it, Jody was the villain in his own story because he viewed himself as the one who pushed everyone away, the one who let his studio fall apart. So he was Bendy. He was the ink demon. He exploited his workers, he gutted his creations for profit, and he only failed, and his empire fell around him. So that's what I thought it was about at first. But after I replayed the first few sections of the game again on my own time off of stream, I kind of have a different idea. I think it was real. I think all of it was real. Well, kind of. You see, there's coffins in the studio, and I actually remember remarking about that when I streamed the first couple of chapters of the game. When I got to the rooms with the coffins, I remember commenting that I thought that was kind of strange that there were coffins in an animation studio. There was also figures in the studio. The ink people that I mentioned looked like black Zoidbergs. Anyway, they had the ink people here and there. And at the end, during the final fight with Bendy, when we're walking through the ink machine, we saw these columns, these cylinders that were glass, and they were filling with ink, and there were ink people standing in them. So I thought that had to mean something. There was something about that. And I remember there was a recording from Joey Drew that said, "If they need souls, I have plenty of them to spare." There's also some letters and a couple of articles that are hidden around in the game in different areas that if you look really closely, you can actually read the headlines. And some of the letters, you can actually read all the text of the letter. So I didn't do that on my first playthrough, and I did on this playthrough. And I made a note of who the letters were from and what they were talking about. So after taking a closer look at the articles and the letters and kind of thinking about the events of the game, here's what I actually think happened. Henry's dead. So the person you're playing is dead. Joey Drew sacrificed him to the ink machine. So there's a jump scare in the first part of the game when you walk over what looks like an arcane circle on the ground. There's also a news article that you see not long, I think it was before, I can't remember if it was before or after that, but not long either before or after that, there's a news article you can read about an animator who was found dead at his desk. And you find your old desk, not once, but twice in the game, in 2 different places. Why is that? So Joey started calling all his old staff back to show them his new project. He got them all back, except for Allison, who was the original Alice Angel, and Tom, because Allison couldn't make it back, and Tom couldn't make it back either. They had family engagements, so they couldn't make it back to him. All the rest of the staff came back and got sacrificed to the ink machine to bring his creations to life. The souls he was referring to are the souls of his staff. All of them except for Allison and Tom, which is why Alice Angel, at the end of the game, the good Alice Angel, the bad Alice Angel was the other actress, the one that replaced Allison. That was the evil Alice Angel. The good Alice Angel and Robo Boris, who Alice Angel called Tom, they were the ones, the vessels, basically the vessels that Allison and Tom were supposed to be put into, but they weren't because they couldn't make it back. If you notice at the end, before you cross that ink, they say that they can't go in there because if they do, they'll be lost forever. The reason for that is because they don't have souls. They're only ink. So they can't survive passing through the ink anymore. So many times we see the phrase, "the creator lied to us," written on the walls. And Allison reveals that they have all been writing on the walls and scribbling, and that's sort of all of them referring to Joey. Joey is their creator, and Joey lied to them. He lied. He said it was a great project to help bring his creations to life, but he was just feeding souls to the ink machine to keep his empire from falling apart, and to feed his own power because he's Bendy. Joey is the ink demon. The most compelling evidence that he's trying to get Henry to end the cycle, albeit by killing him, is in the moment right here. Check it out.
You were always so good at pushing, old friend. Pushing me to do the right thing. You should have pushed a little harder.
So he knows Henry is capable of fixing what he did. He wishes he would have done it before it got out of hand, but he didn't. So in a way, it's still kind of metaphorical, but not the metaphor for Joey's failing business and lack of family and sort of the sadness of the end of his life where his empire fell apart. No, it's different. It's a metaphor about work. It's a metaphor about how killing yourself or sacrificing your employees on the altar of commerce can end. This is what can happen in a metaphorical sense. So what the game is really trying to say, I think, is don't let yourself become the demon that everyone fears, because that never ends well. You guys have a great evening, and thanks for watching my videos. Toodles!